we need to have a Victor Wembanyama conversation because he's had a very porous start to this NBA season. Very disappointing start to this NBA season. The Spurs are 1-3. They look like a bad basketball team, which we expected to happen, but we were sort of hoping and banking on Victor Wembanyama turning into Victor Wembanyama. I kind of thought this was the year we'd see the leap, and there's still time. He was the second half of the season last year is when he started going crazy. So he could just be somebody who takes some time to get going when the season starts. He looks sluggish right now. I'll say this. There's some Spurs fans out there, and I saw this, and I don't know, is there something about this, that he has really bad allergies, and that they just think his allergies are really kicking his ass right now. That is something that I've seen, and maybe that's true. And maybe that is true, but Victor Wembanyama, there's a problem here, and let me explain what it is. This is not a breakout year for Victor Wembanyama. All of the things that you thought was going to happen with Vic, that he was going to be a top 10 player, maybe even make his way into the top 5, maybe get some MVP love or whatever the case may be. It's not happening this year. Let me explain why. Victor Wembanyama needs to spend an entire summer, this upcoming summer hopefully, working on his interior game. Currently, his game is far too perimeter-oriented, and it doesn't work. He's not efficient on the perimeter. And you've seen teams did this last year. Every team that they have played so far this year has managed to neutralize Victor Wembanyama. All but one game. He had one good game against the Rockets so far this season. Every team that has played him has managed to neutralize him by just putting their, beefier forward on him. Not their center, their beefier forward. The Mavericks pretty much took him out of the game at times by putting PJ Washington on him, by putting Maxi Kleber on him. Two guys that are 5, 6, 7 inches shorter than Victor Wembanyama, but they're strong guys and physical defenders. And Vic has zero answer to that. He pops off in their first home game against the Spurs, against the Rockets, 29 points, 10 of 17. But also, they put Dylan Brooks on Victor Wembanyama and made his life very uncomfortable. Then the Thunder game last night, the Thunder, this whole Chet Wemby rivalry. Chet really doesn't guard him at all. They put J-Dub on him. Completely take him out of the game because J-Dub's a strong player. He made one shot. Yeah. Chet's a better player right now than Wemby. Yes. So far this season, at least. He's more polished. Chet can finish around the rim. Chet has a good interior game. And that expands out to his outside game. Right now, Victor Wembanyama is just not... He needs something he can go to inside, in the post. A post fade, a hook, something. He needs a dominant move inside. If you put a shorter forward on me in an effort to kind of bully me around a little bit, I've gotten stronger. I can handle that, but also too, I have a post fade that's unstoppable. I'll just shoot over him every time. Or I have a post hook. Once I get 10 feet away from the basket, it's automatic. He does not have that right now. His interior scoring leaves a lot to be desired. A lot. And yes, his supporting cast is bad. Chris Paul is... I think Chris Paul will help him over the course of the season for sure. We're so early. We're 4 games into the season. It's been a disappointing start to the season, though. Full stop. I mean, I can't help but feel disappointed in Wemby. I've gotten so much shit for how much I like Wemby. And how much I say this guy's going to be a future great. But he needs to work on his game quite a bit, man. He has no consistent go-to way of scoring, man. His game is so perimeter oriented right now, and he's not efficient. He's shooting 19% from 3 so far this season. He's only taking 5.5 attempts per 75 possessions at the rim, man. And I think what's more damning is last season 74% of his shots were assisted. So far to start the season, 36% of his shots have been assisted. So the idea that this Chris Paul addition, by the way, this Thunder thing, I'm being dead serious when I say this. Everybody gathered around the interviewer and barking thing needs to go. I'm not taking you seriously as a championship team until you get rid of it. I'm being dead fucking serious. I'm actually being serious. I'm not taking you seriously until you get rid of this gimmick. Has a team ever won being this goofy? I really don't think so. I actually don't. Anyways. He's going to be a great defensive player. 4 turnovers last night, 2 assists. Maybe Vic should slide in as a small forward. I mean, he plays like a guard. God forbid a team is united and unique. No, that's all cool. I'm not making fun of them for having fun. I'm saying from a winning at the highest level perspective, they got to have more killer. I'm sorry. It sounds stupid, but I think it's true. And I do agree with you, Organic, that I think the Spurs are kind of playing a dangerous game here with Wemby's development. They're obviously still trying to tank. Like, they're trying to be a rebuilding team. They could have easily gone out and said, let's get this guy, this guy, this guy. Pairs really well next to Wembanyama. We have so many picks. We have money to spend. We can do a whole lot of things. And we can be better. Did you see Draymond talk about their postgame not being a sign of a true contender? Did he actually say that? Wait, when did he say that? That's hilarious. Hey, don't take it from me. Draymond's a 4-time champion. But he has to come in next season. And I don't think that's something you develop over the course of a season. It has to be a summer thing. He has to come in next season stronger. And he has to come in next season with some type of interior scoring move that he can go to. A go-to scoring move that opens up everything. I mean, if he had a post hook, if he had a fadeaway, if he had something like that, everything else would be so much easier for him offensively. Genuinely. Everything would be so much easier. The 3-ball would open up. The offense would just open up for him. And right now it's just forced and frantic because everything's on the perimeter. It just feels like he wants to shoot a 3 every single time he touches the ball. So you think the NBA has the current iteration of Wemby solved? I mean, there wasn't a lot to solve. You know, it's like he was great last year. I mean, he's a phenomenal defender. But offensively, it wasn't like he was this unstoppable force a year ago. He had great games, and he's going to have great games. He shoots a lot of threes and stuff like that. So he's going to have great games. His step-back shooting numbers and everything, he's going to be a good shooter. Like he just is. All signs point to him being a good shooter. And he's just kind of in a shooting slump to start the season. So that skews the numbers a little bit as well. But right now, when his 3-ball's not falling, his offensive game is disgusting. I didn't watch this game live. What was the reason for only 5 attempts? Again, J-Dub, like, stronger players take him out. It was a thing last year. It was really a thing so far to start the season. And the Spurs are kind of a mess. And the Thunder defensively are unbelievable. Unbelievable how good the Thunder are. They had 18 steals last night. I mean, they get their hands on everything. And when a guy drives and gets deep in the paint, and you just have Caruso coming in, swiping at the ball. You have Dort coming in, swiping at the ball. It's a fucking nightmare, man. It is a nightmare. Yeah, Chet's playing great to start the season, man. He had a good game again last night. He really might win Defensive Player of the Year. Keldon Johnson, Branham, and Sohan, just ignore him. I will say, Sohan and Wemby's 2-man game is interesting. I think those two could play alongside each other for a long time. It's figuring out all these other pieces. Keldon can go. Absolutely. Keldon's not a piece for them moving forward, I don't think. He'll be on a new team. But by the time the Spurs are good, Keldon will not be in the equation, I don't think. Branham has some, individual flashes as a scorer. But just something to watch moving forward, man. Vassell, yeah, Devin Vassell's not here. He'll be back, so that'll help them out. That'll help them look better offensively. But to start the season, 4 games in, I just haven't seen what I've wanted to see from Wemby so far. And I just saw Zach Lowe tweet as we were talking about this. That makes sense. Is Sohan's shot is just not there. His shot looks terrible. He doesn't shoot. So teams put centers on him. It would be different if the Spurs sort of had 4 other shooters next to Wemby, and it was like impossible to put the forward on Wemby. You had to put a center on him. That would be a little bit different. So the team around him is a mess as well.